for today's cup of coffee.
I just looked up pictures from that last episode. I want that fit. I want it. I want the invisibility shield.
Well, save up your dollars.
It's only 100 pounds. I'll get it.
Maybe.
100
we'll see.
euros.
No, it was pounds. It wasn't euros. This is from Daily Star and is by Harry Thompson. At least I can pronounce his name. And this was December the 12th of 2022. And a whistleblower once claimed that he saw a base on the dark side of the moon when he was roped in to help repair some misfiring photography equipment in the late 1960s. And former U.S. Air Force Sergeant Carl Wolf waited 30 years until the alleged incident to tell his story, bound by his security clearance gained when he was working at Langley Air Force Base in Virginia as a precision electronics photograph repairer for NASA. Now, that's pretty cool. Of course, I think that they'll throw your ass in prison if you go against that 30-year gag order.
Yeah.
And according to Howes and Wise, he said his boss had told him to come and help with some equipment at a nearby facility that was similar to the equipment that he was used to working with. The only person around who was able to help, he obliged, and his security clearance was heightened to allow him to enter. He said he entered a facility full of people from different countries. Wolf was then shown into the dark room where the equipment he was meant to be working on was located. In the other room was a man, an airman. The process of repairing the equipment was one that would take him a long time. Part of the process involved waiting, and the two men got to talking, and where the men told him that NASA camera data was sent to be processed at Langley, the headquarters of the CIA, before being sent to various parts of the military to be analyzed. Here the man told him that new images have shown structures on the moon that didn't appear to have been possible to make through natural processes. The airman allegedly said, quote, "We discovered a base on the backside of the moon," end quote. Wolf said that he was left shaking by the discovery when the attendant who noticed his reaction reiterated, quote, "Yes, a base on the dark side of the moon," end quote. Wolf was given the photographs to look at and claimed to be able to see geometric shapes and masts that looked like radar antenna you would find on Earth. He said the base looked organized and planned. Wolf claims to have sat on the events of that day for 30 years due to be... Huh?
Organized and planned. IKEA.
He sat on the events of that day for 30 years due to being bound by his security clearance, finally telling his story all those years later. In 2018, at the age of 74, he was killed by a trailer while cycling in Lansing, New York. And they just threw that last line in there. I would hope that at that point that he was not offed, but
I mean, it's possible.
Sure, anything's possible. Now, one has to wonder, as far as it didn't say that it was an alien base. It very well could have been something from Earth. Because why
like
would have had
military base or like
that's
dark government base, whatever the fuck. We all know this shit.
That there's something up there.
For fuck's sake, why do you think people go missing in these like national parks?
What does that have to do with the dark side of the moon?
That's one of their bases. They know about that shit.
And so
the shadow government knows
they zap them up there?
Yeah, they got technology light years ahead of us.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
We got.
I'm sure of that.
Yeah, they got shit that can literally read your mind if you're just in the vicinity of the room.
That's called Google.
No.
It is. There is nobody that's on the internet that has not had the experience of simply thinking something and then having ad choices come up. I'm not the only one that has happened to. That's weird. I mean, you could be sitting around talking about something and then you have ad selections come up. That's freaky. I have a piece of tape over the camera thing here, so yeah.
I can't.
But as far as
put tape over mine,
a moon base that has been, theorized for a very long time.
Yeah.
And now we have this sudden urge again to go to the moon.
Yes.
So what's up with that? And
Is there
China
something
had laid claim to the moon.
Oh,
Now, who
we already
convinces-
been up there, so allegedly.
They're saying that nobody else had actually legally claimed it so that it was theirs. We reported
Because
on that
it's not
several
ours.
months
It's
ago.
no one.
It's the moon.
It's the moon. It's not ours to claim. It's not humans' right to claim the moon.
I think all that stuff kind of belongs to God.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's like I was
We
here
have
first.
the earth. That's our field. We got claim over this land.
Right.
Like,
right.
but as far as other land, no, you don't fuck with that. That's other people's territory.
Well,
That's other species' territory.
and maybe it was a matter that it was the controls that operates the moon.
This the what?
The controls that operates the moon. Because you've got that theory that the moon is hollow or that it's a giant...
Made out of cheese.
No, that it was a giant, some kind of something that's there to basically control Earth. Yeah. There's a lot of theories about what the moon is.
Yeah. That one of it being made out of cheese is a real thing.
I like
think.
that one. I always liked that one. I think it was about the moon that they had
Space
dropped
cheese.
something on it or whatever, and it rang like a bell for an hour or more.
Dropped something on it. How do you just simply drop something on a place that has no gravity?
But that's what we've been told. That's what we've been told.
I mean, sure, it might have some sort of gravitational pull, but
But then there's the whole theory of did we really go to the moon? And that's where you get like with Stanley Kubrick that had supposedly videoed
the whole
that.
thing, like, all we know is a fucking lie, and that's like... then you go deeper into that, and that's when you just spiral, and it's like, it ain't that
Absolutely.
deep. Ain't that deep. I ain't going there.
Well, and that's where you get as far as the flat earth and it's covered by a dome and it's just
We're in
all
a
of it.
donut. We're in a time donut.
Possibly.
It's one big fucking just tube.
Well, and that's just like as far as the faces on Mars and different things
Inner
like
tube.
that. And they keep claiming, oh, this is just shadows on all this and blah, blah, blah. And some of the things, I think, was it that Mars rover or whatever it was, that they think had destroyed the face? And maybe that was on the moon. I may have gotten all this. My head is very clogged with conspiracy
People think
theories.
gravity is fictional. Flat earthers.
No, well, the thing is, I mean,
They're the ones that are questioning
you-
gravity.
well, what happens when they jump off a roof? Please don't jump off a
They
roof.
fall. They fall and get hurt. That's
Then-
always what happens. Their own tests dispute their theories.
Well, I mean,
Or
it's like I
whatever
don't
the
know
word
of
is.
anybody that has jumped off of some kind of height and just flew around. Are birds the only one
Y'all
that know
think
the truth?
it's that fucking TikTok trend? Like, oh, y'all think gravity is real? Y'all still believe in gravity? And you see their feet being like lifted up in the video or whatever,
Oh.
and then walking up the wall.
Right.
But it's
Well,
those are jokes. It's jokes.
you're not allowed to joke anymore. Are you kidding? That's something else that's been outlawed.
Yes, gravity is.
It's a thing.
It's totally not real.
Yeah. Because
Not like I
things just...
throw some.
Apples. Let's put it like this. Apples, to our knowledge, are not sentient beings. To our knowledge. There are people that sit there... Do they scream when they fall off of the tree?
The seed. The trees are technically sentient, but they're not in the sentient as far as we can think of.
There's some of them that say the carrot. Was you the one that said carrots scream when they're ripped from the earth?
Yes. And that smell,
Oh my
that
God.
smell of freshly cut grass, that is the grass crying and screaming because it was cut.
Goddamn. Now, people will lose their minds if they go down that rabbit hole,
Right?
truly. But point being, an apple if it falls from the tree and hits the ground,
will conk it on the
it's
head.
not because it's been indoctrinated.
No, it just does not. It does not go and just float off into the ether.
Right.
Float off into the space. That's what would happen if we were on the moon. Well, no, because
In theory.
there is a certain amount of gravitational pull that it has.
In theory. I don't know.
How does it control the waves and such like that then? It has to have some sort of gravitational pull.
Right. I'm just saying that I have heard many theories over the years. I have collected these things.
It just ain't as strong. It ain't as strong as Earth's gravitational pull.
Well, there's other planets that they have moons also.
And in theory, I can see where they say like the moon is hollow because it's one big rock. There are air pockets in rocks.
Possibly.
Like seriously, there are rocks that have air pockets. Like they're holy, like not as in like Holy Maria, holy, but like it has
holes in it.
Yeah.
There's people that theorize
holy rocks.
that the Earth is hollow, and that we're just living on the crust of it. But there's a whole other civilization that lives under this one.
That's when you go into technicalities, and technicality it kind of is, because if you factor all the caves and the ravines and such like that, and then you get the lava, because it's a liquid.
Yeah, those people over in Hawaii definitely know that.
In technicality, yeah, it is, but it's like one giant anthill, if you think about it.
Sorta, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. There's lots of places under. We don't know shit about shit.
We haven't. We have not explored this Earth that much.
No, a lot of it we have not.
And what we, to our knowledge, have explored. I mean, the shadow government has already explored a lot of the shit that we haven't.
Oh, absolutely. They're never going to tell us the truth.
Yeah,
they're never
going to tell us everything. They're going to leak it out little by little.
Oh, yeah.
But until then, it's going to be like the devil, half truths and lies.
Absolutely. Well, that's who's running them. That's the ultimate one that's over the shadow government. They had released...
Ain't that deep. It ain't that deep, Clay. It ain't that deep.
They had released more files about the John F. Kennedy assassination. Now, does anybody really think that they're going to tell anybody the truth? They've not told them the truth
know that
since
he had
the
knowledge
60s.
of shit. We had knowledge of shit, and he couldn't keep his mouth shut. So, like, he was telling people, and the people that he told was, like, his mistress, and blah, 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 blah.
Well, he was going to get rid of a lot of these alphabet agencies.
Yes. Because he knew shit that he shouldn't.
Yes.
And so, yeah, they got rid of him.
Oh, yeah. So
we all know that. That's common knowledge at this point. That should be. Osmosis. Photosynthesis of knowledge.
Yes. Well, it's like this.
Osmosis, absorbing it.
People who, honest to God, trust governments at this point are not paying attention.
No.
And we have been shown recently how ignorant that we have been and how naive we have been.
Yeah.
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 So, do I think that there could be many bases there on the moon? Well, sure. And they're not going to put them to where the average person with a telescope could see it.
Now, seriously, like, do we honestly think that they just went the one time and that was it?
We have no clue.
If they went the one time, you know for a fact that they have went multiple other times and did not document that, at least to public knowledge.
Right. Well, but you would think that some of these amateur, astronomers and stuff might have gotten, but I don't know that the type of telescopes that were available to the average humans at that point, it may have picked up on some of that, but maybe not.
Mm-mm. It would have. I mean, yeah, you could say that because there
have
been people thinking, "Oh, rocket being shot off," when it's actually like a little, space shuttle type dealio.
It could be. It very well could be. I want to know why the Vatican has an observatory.
We all know why. They got shit. Now you talk about a center of evil.
Yeah.
That is a hub.
Well,
that is the hub.
And we are
that
not.
That is the evil hub.
We are not throwing off on Catholics.
I'm talking about that current pope that's up in there.
That dude.
That dude's not human.
No, I don't. There's a lot of people with
that dude is not what he says that he is. He is. You can look at him and be like, "Ooh,
yeah,
the fuck are you?"
But recently I had heard...
Who the fuck are you and why are you here?
Well, you know why, who he represents and why he's here.
Well, that's...
Yeah. But they had recently released documentation, or I had heard about it, where some of the priests were given LSD without their knowledge.
Yes, which is...
That was by the Vatican that had done that.
Highly illegal.
I had never thought about something like that.
But the thing is, you can't do anything legally. You can't do anything to them.
Right. That's all right, because there's always a higher authority than some of these people that's walking this earth. So, moon bases. Any last words on the moon bases?
I said all my thoughts on that.
Okay, if you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, moon rocks. Cheese. Good cheese.
Back in the day, early TikTok, at least when I got on it, this was like during 2020, there was this conspiracy theory dude. He kept getting banned over and over, but he would wear a cheese, like slice of cheese. He would...
On his face?
No, it's a cheese hat.
Oh, okay.
Like a slice of cheese, like out of a cheese wheel. He wore that.
I think that people in Wisconsin may do that.
But
they make cheese up there.
I don't know if he was from Wisconsin, but he did that because of the theory about the moon being made out of cheese.
Well, that would be cool. That's like that. I think it was a French.
And he talked about the Queen.
The French film.
The Queen of England a lot.
You know, where they had the man in the moon, and then the rocket had hit him in the eye.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a cool film.
For all we know, the moon could be a creature.
You're going back down that rabbit hole. We're closing up at this point.
Well,
save that one for a different cup.
Flying spaghetti monster.
Go ahead with your...
I'm good.
Do your thing.
If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all and have a good.
Know that you're loved. Like I said, put your thoughts in the comment box or email them to us. Go to the different platforms, because we are on YouTube, we're on BitChute, we're on Odyssey, and we have some cool comments that different people write. So don't feel, jump around and read what some of the other ones are saying.
Yeah.
So, and we'll see you on the next cup.
Bye.